Welcome, everyone. So, today I'm going to be chatting about staying consistent and how to stop self-sabotaging. This is so crucial, not just to our health and fitness goals, but any goals that we have as we navigate our lives, whether we're longtime vegans, newly plant-based, somewhere in between. We want to be someone who does what we say we'll do and not be in the pattern of self-sabotage, right? So, we're going to talk a little bit about how we can support you with this and then go into a group hypnosis, which, if you've never done hypnosis before, it's similar to meditation in that you get to sit back, relax, and receive. And then we do go a little bit deeper to start planting these subconscious seeds and rewiring the patterns that are stopping you from being consistent and keeping you stuck in the cycle of self-sabotage. So, I would love everyone to drop in the chat, how consistent do you feel right now on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being you struggle a lot with consistency, 10 being you're very consistent, very good with that, no issues there. And just know this is a safe space. We're all at different points on our journey. We're all in different chapters. We've all struggled more or less with this at some point in our lives. So, no shame here for yourself or for others. I see a good range here. So 8, 7, 2. Emilio is looking to get to a 10. I love that. I see 4, 8, 7, 8s and 6s. Yeah, just want to normalize what you're all feeling and experiencing here, whether that's on the low end or the higher end. Just accepting this without judgment right now and giving yourself some credit because you're probably here because you're a growth-oriented person who's committed to becoming your best self, right? Who else spends their Saturday evenings learning how to be strong, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too? So give yourself credit for being here and putting in this time and intentionality to become consistent and become your best self. And it's not that you have to become someone else. What we really want to empower you to know is it's about tuning into the version of you who already exists, okay? It's just about releasing all the patterns that are getting in the way of you embodying the version of yourself that you already are. So, if you are currently struggling with or have ever struggled with the tendency to go all in on a plan, be perfectly on track, and then suddenly fall off when it just feels like too much or life gets in the way, or you identify as someone who knows exactly what to do but struggles to follow through, or you start over every week, month, or year. Again, I just want to normalize if these are patterns you're either currently struggling with or have struggled with in the past. Just know that you're not broken and there's nothing wrong with you. Like I said, many of us have struggled with these patterns either currently or in the past. And the good news is they can absolutely be rewritten. Just like any story we tell ourselves, any evidence we've created in the past, we have the opportunity to create new evidence. And so the goal should not be to force consistency. That's where a lot of people struggle with the self-sabotage and the burnout and the giving up on ourselves. We feel the need to just keep pushing ourselves indefinitely. And of course, it's great to get out of our comfort zones and get a little uncomfortable and push ourselves, but we don't want to do that in a way where we're overriding our nervous systems and burning out and staying stuck in this cycle of starting over, burning out, stopping, feeling like a failure, getting down on ourselves. We want to empower ourselves to become that version of ourselves who naturally sustains consistency simply because it feels good to take care of ourselves. And we know deep down that we're worthy of feeling good and showing up for ourselves and doing all the habits that empower us to feel our best. And so true consistency comes from alignment and safety and identity. So, alignment meaning we're choosing goals and habits that are meaningful and relevant to us. We're not just doing the things that others say we should do or that we feel obligated to do. We're working toward a goal that's meaningful for us that we actually want. Okay, and then safety, meaning we're moving toward these goals at a pace that feels sustainable for our nervous system. So, if we're in chapter one of our fitness journey, we're not comparing ourselves to someone in their chapter 10 and getting down on ourselves or feeling like something's wrong with us. Every coach, athlete, bodybuilder, activist, whoever it is you look up to, has also, I guarantee you, struggled with the same things that you currently struggle with or have struggled with in the past. So we're all on our own journeys. It's about embodying the identity of someone who trusts themselves to make the best decisions for ourselves and to feel good simply because, again, we know we're worthy of feeling good, and we all are. And I just want to reiterate that inconsistency and self-sabotage are not mindset flaws. So if you do struggle with these things, it's not because you're broken or something's wrong with you. Like we talked about, it's simply a pattern that can be unlearned. So, has anyone ever identified with stories of being lazy or undisciplined? You can drop a yes in the chat if you're someone who said things like, I'll start next week or I'll start over tomorrow or I've already messed up, so what's the point? And then just derailing ourselves even further from our goals or saying I'll do it when I feel more motivated and then struggling for that feeling to ever hit us or that time to ever come. Yeah, I see a lot of yeses and certainlys. Again, just want to normalize this experience and remind you that these self-sabotaging patterns are simply that. They're patterns. It's not a lack of willpower or an inherent flaw within yourself. And if it helps you feel more normal in your struggles as a coach and bodybuilder and longtime vegan myself, I've struggled with each and every one of these things for so many years. And that's why I'm here, is to be the example and show you that if someone like me can be consistent, then so can you. And I believe in each and every one of you. And I want to show you that there's a better way to be consistent than just bulldozing our capacity and overriding our nervous systems and ourselves and really making changes at a sustainable pace because ultimately that's what's going to last long term. And so, the first step to any type of change, you've probably heard this before, is awareness. So, we want to bring awareness to where we tend to fall off. Is this a certain day of the week? I know weekends can be hard for some people. Is this holidays or being around certain groups of people, family, friends, coworkers? Is it a time of day? Maybe we're on it all day and then struggle in the evenings. So, just bring awareness to where it is you tend to fall off track. And also bring awareness to what you tell yourselves in these moments, because this is honestly where people stay stuck more so than not being on track or on plan with the habits themselves, is how we speak to ourselves in those moments. So if we are repeating these stories like, something's wrong with me, I just can't seem to stay on track. Why does everyone else seem to make progress except for me? When will I ever break out of this? Just really being hard on ourselves and getting down on ourselves perpetuates these cycles. And I know it's hard when we make a mistake or mess up, or maybe eat a little more than we wanted to, or maybe didn't have the best day at the gym to feel bad about ourselves. I still struggle with this from time to time too. But the important thing is to notice when we have these negative stories come up and remind ourselves that this is just a thought I'm having. It's not my true self speaking here, and give that part of ourselves compassion. How would you speak to a loved one or a friend, a family member, your kid in this situation? You'd probably give them grace and compassion and want to empower them and be a cheerleader for them to continue making decisions that feel good, right? So give yourself that same grace and compassion. And giving grace and compassion doesn't mean the same thing as making excuses. There's a good balance we can have of being kind to ourselves, not speaking poorly about ourselves, and also empowering us to continue getting outside our comfort zones and showing up. So that's what we're here for today, to drop into hypnosis and help you really feel this balance of how good it feels to move forward toward goals that are meaningful to you while also doing it at a pace that feels good in a way where you're treating yourself with kindness and respect and just having that self-trust that your success is inevitable. Because when we're trying to move toward our goals from an energy of self-doubt or self-deprecation, like we talked about, those patterns are just going to keep playing out, and that's not what we want. So, yeah, I want to talk a little bit about how our nervous systems come into play with all of this. So, your nervous system resists what it doesn't feel safe to sustain. So, if your nervous system associates consistency with restriction or pressure or believing that you'll eventually burn out or give up, then these subconscious beliefs will keep pulling you out of that consistency. And like we talked about, this is all things that we can rewire. That's why we have these spaces for you to drop into hypnosis and show, not just tell your body that it's safe to slow down. I'm worthy of taking the time to take care of myself and connect with myself, because it's one thing to just tell ourselves positive affirmations, and it's a whole other experience to really embody the energy and feeling and emotions of worthiness, of self-care, and trust that we can do the things that we want to do. So that's what this space is all about today. And has anyone else, you can again drop a yes in the chat, ever struggled with motivation? So, that feeling that we all look for inspiration to kick us into gear, maybe start a new training plan or uh, take the first steps toward a big audacious goal. Yeah, it's normal and cool to feel that motivation, but it's also normal for that motivation to not be around all day, every day, all the time. And so that's why it's super important to work at the identity level, because motivation is not sustainable in terms of creating consistency, but our identity is. Our identity is what we can control. It's something that we have the choice to pour into every single day. Because if we are relying on that motivation, we're always going to feel like we're starting over, and that's not a good feeling. So, I'm curious in the chat, has anybody done any work on your identity, whether that's meditation, hypnosis, journaling, therapy, affirmations? You can either drop a yes or share what you've done to support your identity. Identity meaning that you do the work to create these positive stories for yourself. And if not, that's okay. If this is all new to you, then this is a great opportunity to experience hypnosis and see how that resonates for you. I see some people sharing they've done affirmations, meditation, hypnosis, journaling, shadow work. I see some no's, also awesome and okay. A little with you as my coach, and it's opened me to so much. I love to hear that, Courtney. Yes to therapy. Amazing. So yeah, we have an all range of experiences here, which is perfect and leads me into my next point. And we kind of talked about it already, that there's no comparison when it comes to nervous system work. It's really important to observe what is present for you without judgment. So, what your feeling of stress feels like in your body might feel totally different than what stress feels like in someone else's body. And what your capacity is for work or effort or how much you can give in any day might be very different from someone else's. So just very important to meet yourself where you're at without judgment. And yeah, I'll keep reiterating that point because it's super, super important. So, I want to talk a little bit about the all or nothing mindset because this can be another big roadblock for consistency. So, how many recovering perfectionists, high achievers do we have here? I know I am one myself, along with some fellow coaches on the vegan squad team. Yes, I see the hand raises, me. Yeah, and I think it's amazing that a lot of us have such big goals and want to make a positive impact and become our best selves. The problem is when our standard for goodness or worthiness or achievement is perfection because perfection is impossible to sustain long term. And so if we're constantly chasing this standard of perfection and thinking we need to be perfect in 100% of our areas for 100% of our goals on 100% of the days, then of course we're going to struggle with consistency because that's just not realistic for any human being, no matter what your capacity is, no matter what your schedule is, no matter what your life looks like. And so, how we heal this all or nothing mindset, one of the big ways is by staying connected to ourselves even when we're not perfect. So, back to this identity work, how would we treat someone else who was struggling with and not, I don't even want to say struggling with imperfection, but just how would you treat anyone you care about who's just a human being, who has hard days, who can't always give 100%, who can't always show up for ourselves? We want to meet ourselves where we're at, whether it's a good day or a bad day, whether our capacity is lower than we feel like it should be. And consistency really is built in these in-between moments on those harder days where even if we can't get our 10K steps in, if that's our goal, we choose to still at least get some movement in and get 5K steps instead of sitting on the couch and getting 0 steps. Or if we can't get to the gym, maybe we can do some other type of movement like a 30-minute yoga flow. Just not thinking of our goals as all or nothing, and again, creating this identity through evidence that we are the type of person who is worthy of showing up for ourselves, taking care of ourselves, and feeling good. So, if we do have specific goals in mind, of course, it's important to move toward them through different objectives and show up as best we can and get outside our comfort zones, like we talked about. But if for whatever reason life happens and we can't give that 100%, what if we could give 80% and not beat ourselves up over it? What if we could give 50% of it and have that self-trust that we'll give 100% the next day? What if it is a day that we have 0% to give, but we know deep down that that doesn't define us or our worthiness or our ability to achieve our
So
goals?
you can
Because
save it
in
and
the
set the
grand scheme of
memory
things,
for
one off day in 365 days of a year won't hurt us. And I think a lot of us have a lot more than one
check
off day a year. I certainly do. And so
the
just want to
destination
normalize
on
that.
this.
Um, just want to make sure my audio is okay. I thought I heard an echo. Maybe someone else was not on mute. Um, Sorry, I lost my place, my train of thought. Yeah, we just want to work at the identity level, I think is what I was saying, and not giving into this all or nothing mindset and really building a foundation of self-trust. That's what consistency comes back to is just knowing that every time we do fall off track or we give up on a goal or we avoid what we say we were going to do or keep falling into this pattern of starting over, this chips away at our self-trust. And so without that self-trust, consistency will always feel hard. But the opposite is also true. So when we do have self-trust, consistency just feels like a part of who we are because, like I was just saying, even on those 0% days or the days where we don't have full capacity or ability to show up for ourselves, we know we have this unshakable belief that it won't deter us from becoming that version of ourselves we're stepping into. Um, yeah, and I want to talk a little bit about structure too, because I know I was very resistant to the structure that I have found is necessary to having goals and moving toward them and being a high achiever. I think a lot of us who are these recovering perfectionists have either, on one hand, gone with this all or nothing mindset and been on the all end of this where we are doing 100% perfectly. We have such rigid structure that it leaves no room for flexibility or freedom. So if we are following a meal plan, then when those natural life moments come up, like a loved one's birthday or an outing, it's hard to feel like we can give ourselves permission to enjoy that freedom. Or maybe you struggle with the opposite, the nothing half of the all or nothing mindset, where you have so much flexibility and freedom that it's really hard to find a middle ground and reel it in and stay on track, so to speak. So, no matter which end of the spectrum you struggle with, whether that's currently or maybe you've struggled with it in the past, I just want to normalize and encourage that there is a happy balance and middle ground of structure that works for you. And again, this could look very different from someone who's struggling with something else or on the opposite end of the spectrum. So, as we've already said many times, it's important to acknowledge and observe your own experience without judgment and create a form of structure and consistency that works for you. That's what this is all about because the right structure will reduce decision fatigue, it will create a sense of stability and just give you some brain space back in your day. I was very resistant to following a meal plan for so long because I love the flexibility and freedom, and I worked with macros for uh, 5 or 6 years, and that worked for me at that time of my life. And now, just being very busy and having that knowledge of macros, I love following a meal plan because I just don't have to worry about what I'm grocery shopping for, what I'm cooking, what I'm gonna be making that day. So that works for me in this season of life, and I know I can still have a meal or two off plan every week and be perfectly fine. And that's my form of consistency. And so, yeah, whether meal plan or macros work for you, or this is all new for you, or intuitive eating is your goal, or not even talking about food at all, whatever it is that your goal is, training, meal plan, mindset, we want you to have the structure that just feels natural and works for you. And yeah, one last thing I want to touch on before we get into hypnosis is a lot of people, when they struggle with consistency, think that they need a new plan that will break them out of this all or nothing cycle. And a lot of the times it's actually that we need a new pattern. So, um, yeah, this could be that identity pattern that we talked about, working on our subconscious, like we're doing in hypnosis today, or some of you shared that you do journaling, therapy, shadow work, whatever the pattern is that we're trying to break, we reminding ourselves that we have the opportunity to create a new one at any time. And we can have the perfect plan, but if we don't have the right mindset or those subconscious patterns that I am a failure or I am someone who can't be consistent or stay on track, keep coming up and getting in the way, then that right there is usually the root of why most people struggle with consistency. So, yeah, the we like I said, we can have the right plan, but that pattern underneath the surface. If it stays the same all the time, then we're going to keep getting the same results. So, I want to do a little activity before we dive into hypnosis. This kind of gets your subconscious mind flowing. I'm gonna drop the question in the chat and I'll say it out loud. This is kind of like an interactive journaling self-reflection prompt. And again, this is a safe space. It's just for you to observe where you're at today. So when I fall off, I usually tell myself, and this is in terms of consistency. So if you fall off track, if you have those days where you can't be perfect, what's the story that's coming up? What are you making this mean about you? Courtney shared that I need to be better and work harder. Yeah, I think this is a very common one for us high achievers, recovering perfectionists. It's hard to take a break and trust that maybe what can appear to be not working as hard or taking a step back, honoring our capacity is actually like a slingshot, allowing us to then propel forward and move at a more sustainable pace. I'm seeing more responses. I'll never get it. I'll get back to it tomorrow. I'll try again tomorrow. These are all very common ones. Um, Reina shared a nice one. It's just one moment, one day, and I can get back on track now. I love that. That is a beautiful self-talk to have in this situation. I need a break. I'll start Monday. It's my journey. Yeah, we got a nice mix here. Thank you all for sharing. I'm going to share another question now, two more, and then we'll dive into our meditation hypnosis journey. The version of me who is consistent believes. So when you imagine yourself moving at a pace that feels good for you and still trusting that you're moving forward, what comes up for you? I'm the best. I love this one. Yeah, we are our best selves when we're being consistent and continually moving forward in a way that feels good for us. So I love that. I'm stronger than I think. Yes, that's beautiful, positive self-talk to have. I can do this. Very empowering. You versus you, absolutely. Thank you guys for sharing and taking the time to reflect. I think that's really important. I'm doing the best thing for my body by eating vegan and don't need to care about other people's judgments. Yes, just having that self-trust and belief and not worrying about what anyone else thinks. I know that can be easier said than done, but that's amazing and I love that. I can do anything. I got this. I can do this. Awesome. Yeah, remembering how healthy I will become. Beautiful. All right, one more. I'm ready to become someone who, this could be an action or behavior, this could be a feeling, a vision, whatever's coming up for you. Bridget said, is strong. I love that. And strength can be whatever it means for you, that physically strong, mentally strong, having this resilience, this strong identity. Emilio said doesn't allow guilt to interrupt future consistency. Yeah, guilt is one of the lowest vibrations and frequencies that we can experience. And again, no fault to ourselves when we are such high achievers. We want to give our best and be perfect. Whenever we have a human moment and fall short of that, it makes sense to feel guilty. So, yeah, I think not allowing that guilt to persist and just acknowledging and observing and moving through it is super important. So I'm proud of you for that. Can be more consistent, be a testament. I'm him. I love that. Very powerful. Can assume life's difficulties without self-sabotage. Yes. Consistent. Awesome. Thank you all for sharing. This is awesome, you guys. I'm proud of you for taking the time to self-reflect on the stories that do come up when we fall off track, the version of you you're stepping into, which again already exists within you. It's just a matter of tuning back in and rewriting these stories and patterns that are getting in the way and feeling ready and empowered to become this version of you who already exists, who is consistent. And again, whatever consistency means for you and looks like, just having that self-trust that no matter what, you will take care of you. You will show up for yourself. You will do the things you say you will do because you know you're worthy of them. You know they make you feel good, and you know you're worthy of feeling good. So, we're going to transition to the hypnosis part of this. For any of you who joined late, I shared it's similar to a meditation in that you get to sit back, relax, drop in. But we do go a little bit deeper, start planting some subconscious seeds to really help you rewire these patterns that are getting in the way of your consistency and allow you to tap into that energy of who you are at your core, that version of you who is consistent and strong and believes in yourself and shows up for yourself. So I'll give you guys a minute or so to get comfortable. If you have a spot you can sit in or lie down, that's amazing. If you are driving or operating heavy machinery, please listen to the recording, come back later. Our next talk will be at 5. You can pop back in then and listen. But for now, this is just your time to drop into your inner world. So we want to make sure you're safe, comfortable, relaxed. And when you're ready, you can begin to close your eyes. Allow yourself to tune into your breath, breathing in deeply through your nose and exhaling fully through your mouth, letting your breaths be slow, deep, and full. And releasing any stagnant energy as you exhale, allowing each breath to connect you deeper with your body. Trusting that there's nowhere else you need to be right now, and there's nothing else you need to be doing. That these next few minutes are just for you, that you are worthy of slowing down, of connecting with yourself, that consistent version of you who already exists within you. And just take a moment now to observe your body. Notice any tightness or tension you're holding on to. And imagine on your next inhale, sending this breath to any areas of your body that need extra support. A lot of us carry tightness in our chest. Maybe placing a hand on your heart if that feels good. Allowing your breath to be full, to release this tightness. And just taking a moment to send yourself gratitude for being here, for creating this evidence of how important it is to move at a pace that feels good for you, of how capable you are of achieving your goals without burning out or overriding your nervous system, of taking this moment to remember that your body is on the same team as you. And next, acknowledging your mind and all that your mind does for you. And just observing any thoughts that may come up without judgment, without frustration or a need to quiet or suppress them. And instead, inviting all parts of you to the table. Any part of yourself who is struggling with self-doubt, any part of yourself that feels the need to push through and override your capacity, any part of you that's comparing your journey to someone else's, any part of you that doesn't yet trust your own timing. And just sending each of these parts some love, some acknowledgement, knowing that there's nothing wrong with these parts for feeling this way, that it makes sense, and that this is simply an opportunity to show, not tell these parts that it's safe to be on the same team, that it's safe to choose a new pattern, a new way of being. And as you continue to breathe and relax even more deeply, I want you to imagine yourself somewhere in nature where you feel comfortable. Maybe this is a beautiful forest or a relaxing beach or somewhere else entirely. Just allowing yourself to arrive in this safe haven in your own timing. And just beginning to observe your surroundings here, what time of day it is, the color of the sky, any trees, birds, or animals surrounding you. Just allowing yourself to arrive here. And again, reminding yourself that there's nowhere else you need to be, that your only task is to be one with your breath and your body, to find safety in slowing down. And as you settle into this beautiful part of nature, just noticing any patterns that are currently present in your life related to self-sabotage. Just noticing any patterns related to self-sabotage. Noticing the stories you tell yourself, what your self-talk sounds like when you can't be perfect. Just giving yourself some compassion for whatever comes up for you, knowing that struggling with these things is not an inherent flaw within you. Remembering that these stories and experiences came from other times, other places, other people. And so just imagining the energy of this self-sabotage. What does this self-sabotage look and feel like? Maybe a color or an object that represents the self-sabotage. And I just want you to imagine sending the energy of this self-sabotage back to the people, places, and times that they came from. Feeling this energy move out of your body now, releasing it into the earth, and just noticing the space you're creating in your body as you clear away the patterns and subconscious stories that are not true to you and your own energy. And wherever you are, just imagine now the sun in the sky, shining just a little bit brighter, feeling the warmth on your skin, and letting the sun's energy be a reminder of how strong you are, of how healthy and capable you are, of how supported you are, of how consistent you are. And just letting yourself soak in this light, this energy of self-trust, feeling it on every square inch of your skin, allowing it to seep into your body, into every organ and cell, so that any lingering self-sabotage energy is being cleansed away now. And just letting yourself soak in this beautiful light energy. And remembering that you can tap back into this energy anytime you want or need. And just imagine yourself now moving throughout the rest of your weekend and the week ahead with this energy, this new light energy of self-belief guiding you as you show up for your routines, your plans, as you make decisions, Just noticing how good it feels when you can move about your habits and tasks from a place of feeling good about yourself, of trusting yourself, of speaking kindly to yourself about how worthy and capable you are of feeling good, and sending yourself some extra gratitude for taking the time to release some of this self-sabotaging energy from your body and your subconscious mind, and for choosing to tap into your own energy and reminding yourself of that version of you who already is consistent and capable. And when you're ready, I'm going to count you up from 1 to 5, with each number feeling more empowered as you move forward. 1, thanking yourself for taking this time for you. 2, trusting in what's ahead, no matter what's happened in the past. 3, moving at your own pace on your own journey. 4, feeling more capable, empowered, and strong. And 5, fully trusting in your own version of consistency. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly begin to reorient to your space, gently opening your eyes whenever you feel ready. Maybe wiggling your hands, rolling out your wrists, rolling your ankles, just bringing some gentle movement back into your body and staying connected to your breath as you come back to this present moment, returning from this journey in your own timing. Amazing. Thank you guys for taking this time to drop into your inner world. Whether this was a first time experience for you or something you've been practicing, I hope it was supportive for you to reconnect with your own energy and release whatever needed to be released today. Create some space for new patterns and new stories, more empowering beliefs about consistency. And so, as you go into these next few summit talks this evening, there's going to be a lot of information about protein and nutrition and training, and it's all to empower you. But remember, we don't want to ride this high of momentum and go all in for a couple days and then burn out. We want to give you information and let you soak it in at your own pace. Remember to apply it at your own pace, and we're here to support you on that journey. And again, if we haven't met yet, my name's Melissa. I'm a certified holistic life coach and hypnotherapist. I'm part of the Vegan Squad coaching team. Our team has over a dozen vegan coaches. We support you in all areas of your journey: health and fitness, mindset, self-belief. I support with the nervous system regulation and self-trust. And no matter where you're at on your journey, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or more advanced, I think we can all use some time like this to slow down and reconnect with ourselves and reevaluate the beliefs and stories that are no longer serving us so we can move forward. So, thank you guys for taking this time. Give yourself some credit and gratitude for practicing this. It's really important work and often overlooked for high achievers, goal-oriented people, people on fitness journeys. So I'm happy you gave yourself the space to pour into this really important piece of the puzzle. And I'm going to turn it over to Coach Alex now.
Yay. Thanks so much, Melissa. Really appreciate it. That was awesome. Thank you for your session. Everyone give Melissa a round of applause. How's everybody feeling? Yes, love it. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very
Yay. Good, good. I love Melissa's meditations. They're always so grounding and just empowering, helping see myself more. I hope everybody's feeling that right now. Yay, yay. I'm happy to hear that. Hell yeah. Cool. Strong and guided. I love to hear that. That's awesome. Sweet. Well, we have Coach Seth next. I did want to share a little summit special that we're having here. I'm just going to share my screen really quick. Um, one second. Sweet. Can everybody see my screen? Melissa, can you give me a thumbs up?
um it says Vegan Squad has started screen sharing. Oh, there we go.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, sweet. Yeah. So our summit special today, it's pretty freaking epic. If you apply to work with one of our coaches, awesome. Thank you for confirming in the chat. You will get a one-on-one private session with one of our speakers today. So if you wanted a personalized hypnosis session with Melissa, that would be absolutely life-changing. Please apply to this link. I'm going to drop it into the chat. We are also offering lifetime community access into our amazing vegan community. Thank you for dropping your handle there, Melissa. Please go follow her. But yeah, we have an online community with live calls each week. You get to talk to other vegans who are going through the same journey as you. Tons of resources, meditations in there from Melissa. We have yoga practices from Coach Ali, meal plans, training plans, tons of resources. I do a community call every Thursday, so you can come and hang out and you can meet other vegans live, ask any questions you have about your journey, and it's really a good time. We'll also be throwing in John's cookbook as well. He's got almost 30 high protein recipes in there, really easy meals that taste good and are high in protein. And then I'll also be throwing in my protein guide with recipes and some of the vegan protein options that exist out in the world so that you can navigate it easier. I'll be sharing those vegan protein sources in my call later, but we will be giving all this stuff. So over $2,300 of added value, and you get to work with a coach and change your life. We are all vegan on our team. We are very much about holistic health and empowering others. So helping you build muscle, lose fat as a vegan, of course, and changing your physique, but also learning how to fuel your body as a vegan. We all practice mindset health as well. So if that's something important to you, would help you, please apply at the link here. We'd love to get in touch with you and see how we can help you and yeah, just change your life. So apply and change your life.